Hi everyone, welcome to our third algebra preview or our pre-algebra review. We're going to hit some more topics that we covered yesterday, and we're just going to go back over. There will be a small mini 6-question quiz tomorrow. We're going to start the class period off, a little players quiz. You'll be able to use any notes from these first 2 days that you would like. So feel free to go back and review the other videos if you feel you need the extra help or review. Today, we're going to talk about fractions, decimals, and percents. I'm going to show you how to do it by hand and then also how to use it on your calculator, because you're going to have your calculators for 99% of the time in this class. So I want to make sure we can use our calculators properly. So let's begin here. And talk about adding fractions. If I was doing this by hand, 1/6 plus 2/6, when the denominators are the same, so when you have a fraction, the numerator is the top, the denominator is the bottom. The numerator and the denominator, I didn't spell it out there, but the numerator is the top, the denominator is the bottom. When I have like denominators, stays the same, and I simply add the numerators. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 over 6. I can reduce that to 1/2. Now, let's take a look at our calculator. So if I want to enter this into our calculator, 1/6 plus 2/6. This is the TI-84 Plus. I've mentioned a few times that we are asking you to purchase this calculator for this class. It does a wide array of capabilities that you're going to use throughout high school and on into college with the graphing function and the charts you can pull up. If you still have the basic calculator from middle school, the TI-30X, I'm sure everybody's familiar how to enter fractions into that calculator. If you do need help or do not know how to enter fractions into your basic calculator before you get the TI-84 Plus, please let me know and I can help. But there's 2 ways that we can enter fractions into this calculator. So I'm going to show you both of them. A fraction is nothing more than a division problem. So I'm going to use parentheses and do 1 divided by 6, close that parenthesis, and I'm going to add to it 2 divided by 6. So that essentially is 1/6 plus 2/6. When I hit enter, it's going to reduce it for me to the decimal 0.5. If I want to convert that decimal to a fraction, I go to my math menu and I just convert to a fraction by hitting the number 1. I hit enter and 0.5 equals 1/2. This calculator also has a fraction button. So if I go back into that math menu and I click the fraction tab, so I'm going to go to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, and that first choice under the fraction tab is actually a fraction. So I can use this as well to type 1, use my down arrow to get to the denominator 6, use that right arrow to get the cursor out in front, 1/6 plus, I go back to that math menu, I go back over to the fraction tab, and I enter 2/6, put that cursor back out in front, hit enter, and I get the exact same answer. So 2 different ways to enter fractions into your calculator. You're definitely going to need to know and learn how to do this because we're going to be dealing with fractions a lot this year. So let's do a couple more examples here. 6/7 plus 2/7. They have the same denominator, so that is 8/7. 8/7 is reduced. If you want to turn that into a mixed number, it's the same as 1 and 1/7. What happens if my fractions do not have the same base? Again, feel free to put this in your calculator, 1/2 plus 5/3. I'm just going to show you the math behind it. I have a denominator of 2 and a denominator of 3. So to get a common denominator of 6, I'm going to multiply 1/2 by 3 over 3, and I'm going to multiply 5/3 by 2 over 2. That's going to give me the fraction 3 over 6 plus 10 over 6. That is going to equal 13 over 6, or the mixed number 2 and 1/6. If that was a little too much, go back to your calculator and let's just enter it in our calculator. So let's go in our math menu. Let's get our fraction tool. And I'm going to type 1/2 plus, let's go back and see what that fraction was. It's 1/2 plus 5/3. So I'm going to go back and find the fraction 5 over 3. And let's see if we get the same answer. 13 over 6, exactly what I came up with for the original answer. So practice that a little bit on your calculator. Pause this video maybe. Play around with it. Make sure that you understand how to enter and work with fractions, because it is super duper important. So go ahead and try this one. The only difference, I put a minus sign instead of a plus sign, so we're going to subtract. So go ahead and take a second. Maybe find a common denominator. All right, so if you want to find a common denominator, the number 12 works. So if I multiply this by 2 over 2 and this by 3 over 3, I get 10 over 12 minus 9 over 12, which equals 1/12. If you used your calculator, that is totally fine. I am okay with you using your calculator if the doing it by hand is confusing, because like I said, 99% of this school year, you're going to be able to use your calculator. We're just showing you the math behind the calculator. So with adding, subtracting, now you have multiplying and dividing. So let's start with multiplying. When I multiply two fractions, I am just going to multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 8 is 40, which reduces to 1 over 5. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 8 divided by 40 is 5. Let's show you how to do that in your calculator here. I'm going to use the other methods. So let's see here. 2/5 and 4/8. So let's go 2/5 times 4/8. And let's see if we get the same answer. 0.2. Is 0.2 the same? Let's go to our math menu. Let's convert that to a fraction. And sure enough, it is the same as what I got by hand, 1/5. So here's another one. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, if you ever wanted to just put a fraction into your calculator to see if it reduces, that's another thing we can do. So if I go into my math tab and let's just enter the fraction 3/6, and I'm just going to hit enter. And it reduces it for me. So if you're bad at reducing fractions, if you struggle with it, let your calculator do the work for you. So 3/6 is the same as 1/2. You always want to reduce your fractions. One more here. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 4 is 28. You might think to yourself, does that reduce? What can I divide into 18 and 28? Well, I can divide each by 2 to get 9/14. And again, you can put that in your calculator to confirm. Maybe pause this video, practice that on your calculator, and make sure you're getting the same answer as me. Lastly is dividing. Dividing is pretty simple. You take the first fraction and you leave it the same. You change the division sign to a multiplication sign and you take the reciprocal or the flip of the second fraction. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 2 is 16. My answer is 5/16. Go ahead. Why don't you try this one? If you want to use your calculator, go right ahead. Go ahead and pause this video and try this one. All right, let's put this in our calculator. So I have 8/3, and we're dividing. So it's going to look a little funny here, but I'm going to have 8/3 divided by, that second fraction was 5/7. So let's see if I get the same answer. So I get that crazy decimal. Let's go to my math menu. Let's convert that to a fraction. 56/15 is what my calculator is telling me. 56/15. All right, let's see if that's right. 8/3 times, take the reciprocal, 7/5. 8 times 7 is 15. 8 times 7 is 56. 3 times 5 is 15. So it checks out. 99% of your time, the calculator is not going to lie to you. So it's never a bad thing, though, to test it out both ways. All right, here's another one. Let's do this by hand. 10/9. Take the flip. 3/2. The reciprocal is 30/18. Can I reduce that? Looks like I can divide them both by 6. So I get 5/3. Why don't you take a second, put it in your calculator to confirm that is the correct answer. So let's review now, converting to a decimal. All these are our division problems. So converting to a decimal is pretty straightforward. 6/7, I'm going to go 6 divided by 7. You can see that it looks like a fraction. I hit enter, and there's my decimal, 0.857. If I want to round that to the hundredths position from yesterday's lesson, that 7 is going to make that 5 a 6. So we're going to call this 0.86. It was 0.857. The 7 rounds the 5 to a 6. 2/5, take 2 divided by 5, and that's going to be 0.4 or 0.40. We talked about, I think, that exact fraction yesterday. If I move that decimal 2 places, remember 0.40 is the same as 40%. If I want to do the opposite, I'm going to encourage you, decimals to fractions, use your calculator. 0.625, I'm going to type in 0.625. Math menu, fraction, enter, and it's 5/8. If you do not have the nice calculator yet, your basic calculator also has a fraction to decimal button. It's an F to D, D to F, so you can do a decimal to fraction or a fraction to decimal. If you have any troubles with that, shoot me a message, or if you're in class, bring your calculator up to me and I can show you how to do that. 0.85, let's see what that equals. 0.85, we're going to convert that to a fraction. 17/20. Can I do this by hand? Yeah, I can. .625 is the same as 625 over 1,000. And then by hand, you would have to reduce it until you got to 5/8, until it reduced all the way down. But your calculator makes your life super simple, so don't worry about that. We have a mini quiz tomorrow, like I said. That is it for today's lesson. That is our conclusion of our pre-algebra review or our algebra preview. The basic skills you need, the 6-question quiz. If you understood these 3 videos to start, shouldn't be too troublesome. We will do that first thing, and you will be able to use any notes that you have. So feel free to look back over these videos. The notes, the blank notes, are also provided in Polaris for you. So take advantage of all those resources. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.